It's all about business outcomes and it's always about the money, right? It's how you're going to help your customers make money, save money, reduce risk, and be compliant. Right. And you really got to
Mm.
work backwards from their business outcomes. And I even take it a step further. I like to work backwards from my customer's customer, right? If you're in retail and you're at Dick's Sporting Goods and you're selling Chris Del Torio golf shoes, no Chris Del Torio. How do I market to him? How do I sell to him? How do I make sure he gets the perfect customer experience? How am I going to measure it? Right. And so it's at the end of the day, it's all about your customer and your customer's customer. And so that's kind of the way I've always looked at it. And, in these complex sales, when, you've got 10 to 15 decision makers and
Mhm.
you've got both the CIO, the CFO, the head of digital innovation, the head of marketing, the head of supply chain, and they all have to agree on this investment. They need to be able, it's their business case. They need to stand behind it. They need to own the numbers. And it becomes a trusted advisor partnership with
Yeah.
you, the seller, and them as your customer. And, I think you and I chatted about this a few times, but listen, your customer knows their business. They know their numbers. They know their KPIs and the metrics that they're being measured against. They know you're proposing a game changing solution. But if you asked them what they needed, they would say faster horses, right? And it's the old
Yeah.
Henry Ford quote, right? It's like, well, we've got a Tesla. And so we bring, our solution capabilities to the table, what's going to, understanding their pain points and their challenges and being able to build, and articulate what are the business benefits of the solution.
It's interesting, and I'm glad you brought up the point. I was going to say the same thing because it's a balance. You said a lot. The client knows their KPIs, they know their business better than we do. That's always going to be the case. However, sometimes we get to bring, as a third party, we get to bring that aha moment that they haven't considered. So there's always that balance. So how do you do that? Because to your point, if you ask your customers what they want, and I'm glad you worked in Ford's quote, they're going to say we want faster horses. They don't even know that there's, to use your example, a Tesla out there. How do you bring that in? How do you, without offending them and saying, hey, I get it, you need faster horses. But real quick, have you ever considered, what have you seen work with the sales teams that you've run over the years, Greg, where how you can introduce this concept that might be foreign to your buyer, to your decision maker?
It's a great question. And it's that trusted advisor role, right? And it's, your customers want to know, tell me something I don't know. Don't tell me what's going to keep me up at night. Tell me what's going to keep me up 6 months from now. When you're bringing in, Watson into the market back in 2011 on Jeopardy, right? I mean, when we were bringing that to the market, people just didn't have a concept around it, right? And how can I use artificial intelligence and machine learning to automate what's happening in a contact center? Right? And
Mm.
be able to have a chat bot and be able to surface relevant information to a customer service agent, automatically based on the conversation that's happening. That didn't exist. So you're telling them something they don't know. And so it's a game changer.